Hello, my name is Eric Smythe. Eric Smith, unless you've known me for more than a day, then it's Eric Smythe. I go by Eric Smith too. I'm going to watch these Democratic debates a little bit. Just the full thing. I'm going to try to answer the questions myself. I don't know if I'm going to be yelling or if I'm going to be talking very slowly and sweetly. I know there's cameras. Let's pray. Dear God, I could do this without you if I just had your grace. I'd be slightly better than the other candidates, but I'd lose badly. I need Daniel 2:21 to win. And the only reason why I win without your help is because they don't have your help either. But with your help, it's so easy. I feel like a superhero right now. I love you, and I want to teach people how to pray. This is how you pray. Genuinely look up to God. Be humble. And not just say you're humble, but actually be humble before God. And all the pride is sarcastic. Lord, I can't even move on my own. I can't even think on my own. Can't even breathe on my own. Lord, this is a calling that I've accepted. 2032. If it doesn't work, 2036 doesn't work. 2040 doesn't work. 2044. I want these slots, and I want to get up there on the debate stage. I want to be more entertaining than all of them. And I want to win because I'm funny. And I'm funny because God's funny, and God gave me the funnies. The supernatural realm can provide me with the funnies. God, please help me with this video. Please. We got this, okay? I'm gonna need a lot of help from humans too. But they're gonna help me. We got this. We got this, okay? We got this, okay? We're gonna get policies through. Jesus' name, amen.
Food fight. They want to know how we're going to put food on their table. Yes?
I'll tell you how we'll put food on the table. $77.77 a month for the righteous. UBI. Food stamps. I want a little bit more food stamps, a little bit more money, outpace inflation. And I don't want to kick people off food stamps for working hard. Instead of them getting kicked off, they get to transfer their food to someone else. So they don't feel like they're losing it. They feel like they're transferring it to someone else. Now someone else gets their food that they would have had before. So you don't get to keep the food, but you don't lose it. You give it to someone, anyone in the U.S. that doesn't live with you. Something like that. That's interesting. Or you could just be on food stamps for... Once you go past the threshold, you lose your food stamps in 5 years. Maybe something like that. But in 5 years, you're going to lose it. I don't know, something. I want to encourage people to work. Oh, I want to take away the income tax for everyone under $300K a year. Because we're not making any money from them anyway. And that'll help people get rid of the IRS. It's so annoying. Food on the table, we have welfare nets. I want to do foreign aid. I want to help out the other countries. Let's do it. Okay. Democrats do have a heart for the poor, I'll tell you that. I don't run as a Democrat because you don't have to be smart.
On that point, part of the issue that is at play in America today, and we've all been trapped.
I call her my ex-girlfriend because we were technically Facebook official. Looks like a better version of her.
Around the country, I certainly have. I'm meeting people who are working 2 and 3 jobs. You know, this president walks around talking about and flouting his great economy, right? My great economy, my great economy. You ask him, well, how are you measuring this greatness of this economy of yours? And he talks about the stock market. Well, that's fine if you own stocks. So many families in America do not. You ask them, how are you measuring the greatness of this economy of yours? And they point to the jobless numbers and the unemployment numbers. Well, yeah, people in America are working. They're working 2 and 3 jobs. So when we talk about jobs, let's be really clear. In our America, no one should have to work more than 1 job to have a roof over their head and food on the table.
Thank you very much, Senator.
I wish it was that simple, but here's the problem, darling. People have to build a house. And they got to get paid to build that house. And there's land and there's areas that you have to build houses. And if you're working at McDonald's and McDonald's is paying you what you're worth, you don't deserve a house. You don't get a house. Someone worked hard to build the house. Now, you know, do we have extra houses laying around? We could talk about giving those away. But we don't really have that many houses laying around. The Republicans kind of have to explain this very simple economic stuff to you. If you wanna rent, you could barely rent by working at McDonald's full time with 1 job. If you get 2 jobs or 3 jobs, yes, you could work at a house. If there's 3 people putting in rent, and anyways, it's just there's a house, then there's apartments, and you gotta work to get money. To be fair, I've never worked a 40-hour week in my life. My most is 32 hours, and I work 3 jobs to get 30 hours. I have been on disability. I have got my funds cut. I've been on food stamps for a few years, and I love it, by the way. I love everything about it, the food stamps. And I want to introduce UBI, and the UBI is micro UBI. And that's going to help you get, if you're behind on a rent payment, the UBI is going to give you $700 a year. That'll help you get through rent. So I have the best thing. Andrew Yang is the one who has the $1,000 a month here, which I think is too much, but it's better than nothing. It's going to create these massive winners and losers in the economy. But what she's saying is, I love the poor and everyone relates to it, but it's really not that smart.
We've all
But you
expressed
can see how she's a killer, but not a stone cold killer here. She has the eyes of like, I don't really mean any of that stuff.
talking about healthcare, so
I'd like to say
let's
something
talk
about
about healthcare, and this is going to be a show of hands question.
There's going to be healthcare.
We asked a question about healthcare last night that spurred a lot of discussion, as you know. We're going to do it again now. Many people watching at home have health insurance of their employer. Who here would abolish their private health insurance in favor of a government-run plan?
Scratching their heads. It's not that hard if you're one person. These people want power. It's not that hard. Like, I was amazed that Mitt Romney didn't sell everything he had and give it to the poor. Even if it only gave him a 5 or 10% higher chance of winning. You're not losing anything. You're just transferring it to people that need it more than you. Worst case scenario, you and your wife are broke. All of it went to the poor. Maybe you can ask for a little bit of it back. Maybe you can get a job or something. But he kept all his money. He went offshore bank accounts and all this stuff. He's already getting the righteous vote. Just win some of the unrighteous vote by selling everything you have and give it to the poor. It's not that hard to do. And these people are, would you give it away for the health government ran? Can the government run it better than the private people? The Republicans would say no, and they have a lot of smart reasons for that. But these people, I'm just going to say it how it is. This is going to be an uncensored video. These people are trying to get the stupid vote.
Christian
The Republicans get the smart vote. And they're catering to the stupid, and they're catering to the smart with the Republican Democrat.
My turn.
Go ahead.
So,
I'm going to be one of the idiots on stage here, except I'm not an idiot. So
This is a-
I'm going to be pretending to be an idiot. That's what's funny. But I might dress up like a jester in one of these debates. I might dress up nicer than them. And Andrew Yang doesn't even have a tie on. Can you believe that? This guy wants to be president, doesn't even know how to put on a tie. Unbelievable.
Very important issue.
Unless
So
he's doing that
the
on
plan
purpose,
that
which he isn't.
Senator Sanders and I and others support, Medicare for All, is how you get to single payer. But it has a buy-in transition period, which is really
Now, other countries have tried
important.
like the single payer stuff.
In 2005, when I ran for Congress in a
You can get it to work. It's just the thing is, it's good, better, best, and the private is just best. And then you could use both too.
Republican district, I actually ran on
I like
Medicare
the Medi-Cal system here. I use Medicare, and I have free healthcare, and it's a fantastic.
for All. And I won that 2-to-1 Republican district twice. And the way I formulated it was simple. Anyone who doesn't have access to insurance they like, they could buy in at a percentage of income they could afford. So that's what we put into
She seems smart.
the transition period for our Medicare for All plan. I believe we need to get to universal health care as a right
This stuff isn't very interesting to me, unfortunately.
privilege
I like the micro UBI.
to single payer. The quickest way you get there is you create competition with the insurers. God bless the insurers. If they want to compete, they can certainly try. But they've never put people
I like her. This is good. A plus.
for their profits, and I doubt they ever will.
It's
So
kind of
what
what
will
I was
happen
going for, good, better, best. But having competition with the government is pretty
people
strong.
will choose Medicare, you will transition,
And
we
especially
will
for a Democrat, this is pretty nice.
get to Medicare for All, and then your step to single payer is so short. I would make it an earned benefit, just like Social Security, so that you buy in your whole life. It is always there for you, and it's permanent and it's universal.
Senator, your time's up. I
Yeah,
want
I'm
to
sure we won't spend it.
put that same
I
question
don't know.
to Mayor Buttigieg.
Yeah, we've taught, look, everybody who says Medicare for all, every person in politics who allows that phrase to escape their lips has a responsibility to explain how you're actually supposed to get from here to there.
Introducing Iron Beam, a bright choice for futures trading. Iron Beam is
Now, here's how I would do it. It's very similar. I would call it Medicare for all who want it. You take something like Medicare, a flavor of that, you make it available on the exchanges, people can buy in, and then if people like us are right, that will be not only a more inclusive plan, but a more efficient plan than any of the corporate answers out there, then it will be a very natural glide path to the single-payer environment. But let's remember, even in countries that have outright socialized medicine, like England, even there's still a private sector. That's fine. It's just that for our primary care, we can't be relying on the tender mercies of the corporate system. This one's
So to be fair, to be clear, if this question was asked to me in 2032, I would say I have a 15-member dynamic cabinet that's working on this stuff, and those 15 combined are going to be better than me, as well as the dynamic cabinet that you, the American people at home, send me. If you want to send me Britney Spears, send me Britney Spears and load her up with the answer to this, and she will influence me more. I don't know anything about this. I'm quasi-autistic. I'm on the Asperger's spectrum. I am a semi-professional bowler. I'm one of the best Guitar Hero players in the world. I'm one of the best, if not the best, Tetris DX players in the world. I'm really talented, and I love this country, and I love God. And that's what I would say during my time. And this question here is too complicated for me, and I don't care about it. If I cared about it, I could give you a great answer, but I would be subject to change. And every single month, I'm going to have a new member in my cabinet that lasts with me all 4 years. And if I do run a second term, they're going to make it into the second term as well. I want to pay them too, make sure they get paid. And if they don't get paid enough, I'll pay them out of my salary, because I have $400,000 a year, which is more than enough, and I could pay it to my DC dynamic cabinet. But the American people pick 500 with votes on a Twitter poll. Then from the 500, they vote again, and the top two call me up at the same time, and I pick one, and if I can't pick, I'll flip a coin. Then they stay with me forever. Then you send me another 500, we do it every single month. And everyone's like, yeah. And that's how I would answer this.
very personal for me. I started
So
out
this, it's like you have to put all your trust in this guy and what he's saying. It's so much jargon. You don't even know what he's saying.
dealing with the terminal illness of my father. I make decisions for a living, and nothing could have
I make
prepared
decisions for a living.
me for the kind of decisions our family faced. But the thing we had going for us was that we never had to make those decisions based on whether it was going to bankrupt our family because of Medicare. And I won't
See, and I get to say, I'm not making the decisions. I have a team of people that help me make the decisions. I'm just praying and, to be honest, flipping coins too. Maybe flipping coins and rolling dice in the back. Isn't that better than everyone else on stage? Everyone's laughing, busting up. It is. That's the funny thing. It is. It is.
family to have that same freedom to do what is medically right.
33. You don't think my dice roll is better than all these idiots up here?
Not living-
Everyone's like, yeah.
Your time is complete. Vice President Biden, I want to put the question to you. You were one of the architects of
And
Obama.
not just better than the Republicans, no, Democrats, but the Republicans too.
Here.
Andrew Yang's drinking water. He hasn't even spoke yet. He's nervous.
So where do we go from here?
Well, look, this is very personal to me.
This is our best guy, you guys.
Now, my wife and daughter were killed in an automobile accident. My two boys were really very badly injured. I couldn't imagine what it'd be like had I not had adequate health care available immediately. And then when my
Dude, caretakers in those hospitals are going to help you if you get your head blown off. It doesn't matter if you have insurance or not. They'll say, we'll give you medical debt. It's the easiest thing to write off ever.
son came
USA, we got you. It's
home
just,
from Iraq after
we don't, it's
Yeah.
just, we'll deal with the money thing later.
diagnosed with terminal cancer, and he was given months to live. I can't fathom what would have happened if, in fact, they said, by the way, the last 6 months of your life, you're on your own. We're cutting off. You've used up your time. The fact of the matter is that the quickest, fastest
Yeah,
way
Ron
to
Paul says they don't do that.
do it is
It's a
build
bunch of nonsense.
on Obamacare, to build on what we did. And secondly, to make sure that everyone does have an option. Everyone, whether they have private insurance, employer insurance, or no insurance, they in fact could buy in the exchange to a Medicare-like plan. And the way to do that, we can do it quickly. Look, urgency matters. There's people right now facing what I faced and what we faced without any of the help I had. We must move now. I'm against any Democrat who opposes
President Biden,
take
your
down
time is-
Obamacare and any Republican who wants to get rid of Obamacare.
Let me turn to
Bill
Senator
Maher.
Sanders. Senator Sanders, you basically want to scrap the private health insurance system as we know it and replace it with a government-run plan. None of the states that have tried something like that, California, Vermont, New York, has struggled with it, have been successful. If politicians can't make it work in those states, how would you implement it on a national level? How does this work?
Listen, I find it hard to believe that every other major country on earth, including my neighbor 50 miles north of me, Canada, somehow has figured out a way to provide health care to every man, woman, and child, and in most cases, they're spending 50% per capita what we are spending. Let's be clear. Let us be very clear. The function of health care today, from the insurance and drug company perspective, is not to provide quality care to all in a cost-effective way. The function of the healthcare system today is to make billions in profits for the insurance companies. And last year, if you could believe it, while we pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, and I will lower prescription drug prices in half in this country, top 10 companies made $69 billion in profit. They will spend hundreds of millions of dollars lying to the American people, telling us why we cannot have a Medicare for all single-payer program.
I just have to follow up there. How do you implement it on a national level? How do you implement it on a national level, given the fact it's not succeeding in other states have tried?
I will tell you how we'll do it. We'll do it the way real change has always taken place.
This is not a very important topic to me. I don't know what's going to pop up.
The civil rights movement or the women's movement. We will have Medicare for all, when tens of millions of people are prepared to stand up and tell the insurance companies and
didn't answer the question very well.
drug companies.
Well, he said like the other countries can do it, so can we.
Day is gone that healthcare is a human right, not something to make huge profits off.
All right, Ms. Williamson. Ms. Williamson, this is a question for you. Excuse me, I'm addressing question, Ms. Williams.
Like Ben Shapiro's, like the good ones.
So we've been talking a lot about access
You got to pay more.
to health insurance, but
You don't get a right to someone else's labor.
for many Americans, their most pressing concern is the high cost of health care.
There's a reason why we got rich, and it was the private stuff.
How would you lower
Bringing a Democratic Socialist, I don't know
the
about
cost
that.
of prescription drugs?
Well, first
But
of all,
again, if I was on stage, I would just say, this is a great topic for everyone else to talk about. My dynamic cabinet will decide this, as well as dice rolls, which is going to be better than everyone up here, most likely. But I'm not about that. I'm about the $77.77 a month for the righteous and
Government should never have made the deal with the big pharma
for the wicked.
that they couldn't negotiate. That was just
Micro UBI.
part of the regular corruption by which multinational corporations have their way with us. You know, I want to say that while I agree with, I'm with Senator Bennett and others, but I agree with almost everything here. I'll tell you one thing. It's really nice if we've got all these plans, but if you think we're going to beat Donald Trump by just having all these plans, you've got another thing coming. Because he didn't win
Yeah, hype up Donald Trump. What a great idea.
by saying he had a plan. He won by simply saying, make America great again.
And I'll win the same way. I'll say, I got $77 a month. I'll just laugh on stage and I'll win the Democratic. Because trust is better than truth these days. That was Hassan Massange said that. And I'm very trustworthy because I'm very good at bowling and I'm very good at Tetris and I'm on the autism spectrum and I'm very cute and I'm beautiful. And I know 350 Bible verses memorized. And I need to talk about that over and over and over again. And I'm a Christian. And I'm pro-life. And I'm on the Democrat. And I'm going to win. And we're going to win because Jesus loves me and he loves us.
Get deeper than just these superficial
And there's families.
fixes
And
as
I love
important.
BS.
as they are. Even if we're just talking about the superficial fixes, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a health care system in the United States. We have a sickness care system in the United States. We just wait till somebody
What a stupid line.
gets sick, and then we talk about who's going to pay for the treatment and how they're going to be treated. What we need to talk about is why so many Americans have unnecessary chronic illnesses, so many more compared to other countries. And that gets back into not just the big pharma, not just health insurance companies. It has to do with chemical policies. It has to do with environmental policies. It has to do with food policies.
And you're gonna fix all that. This lady's gonna fix all that. Oh my goodness, she needs to be way more beautiful if she's gonna pull this off.
Kraken is the
And she's beautiful, but
easiest way to
it's
start
just
exploring
not
crypto.
enough.
Sign up in minutes with no complicated steps
They're
and
so
zero
old.
stress.
And another thing I want to do is I would just want to yell, elect me, and I will put it in the Constitution that 21 and older can run instead of 35 and older. 21-year-old, if you could go to the military and you could drink alcohol, and you could do a bunch of nasty stuff like cigarettes, you can run for president. Because these guys are a bunch of idiots. And I gotta be careful, make sure not to call myself an idiot. Because I'm not.
Senator
That's the difference. I'm
Question for you.
smart. I
I
have
wanna keep this-
350 Bible verses memorized. That's more than everyone on stage combined. And the Christians or the superficial Christians or the lukewarm are like, he's got a nice point, and he's going to give me $77, and then they turn off the TV because they only watch a couple minutes of this, or they get the highlight reel.
System that we have in place with Obamacare and build on it. You mentioned that a moment ago. Is that enough to get us to universal coverage?
I believe that will get us the quickest way there. And I thought the Vice President was very moving about this, and Mayor Pete as well. I had prostate cancer recently, as you may know, and that's why I was a little late getting in the race. The same week, my kid had her appendectomy out. And I feel very strongly that families ought to be able to have this choice. I think that's what the American people want. I believe it will get us there quickly. There are millions of people in America that do not have health insurance today because they can't. They're too wealthy. They make too much money to be on Medicaid. They can't afford health insurance. When Senator Sanders says that Canada is single payer, there are 35 million people in Canada. There are 330 million people in the United States easily.
It's so complicated,
The number
this
of
issue.
people
I'm
on
sorry
a
for everyone everywhere about
public
this
option.
stuff.
It could easily be 35 million.
It seems like a tough spot
For that-
for Democrats and Republicans here.
Be Medicare for all, as
I'm comfortably in Medicare, living in
Mayor
the fruits of my dad's labor here.
Buttigieg says, but for others who want to keep it, they should be able to keep it. And I think that will be the fastest way to get where we need to go.
I'd like to
Also,
add a
I will
point
say,
as
Bernie
well.
is a very honest person. He has said over and over again, unlike others that have supported this legislation, over and over again, that this will make illegal all insurance except cosmetic, except insurance for, I guess that's for plastic surgery. Everything else is banned under the Medicare for All proposal that he has
I'd let
put
you go a little longer there, but obviously, Senator Sanders, you got to
Like
respond.
He's like, hey, you mentioned me. I get to talk.
Here.
Senator
Andrew Yang says, I'll give everyone $1,000, dear.
Sanders,
Just very briefly. You know, Mike,
1,000 is a little too much, but it's better than nothing. It's worth a try.
Yeah.
Big winners, big losers. We don't know who they are. Micro UBI, I'll tell you exactly who the losers are. The rich, middle class breaks even, and the poor flourishes.
is the most
It's so good, the micro UBI.
pop-
$77 a month.
popular health insurance program in the country.
And it might be 177 or 101 or something,
People
but it's
don't
just
like-
a little bit. And it's a orange card, and you could sell the whole card for like $5,000 on the white market or the black market. And
They're
you
part-
can pay off your credit cards,
Pretty
which
insurance-
are unreasonably high usury rates.
Companies, they like their doctors and
It's a
hospitals.
brilliant idea I have, and I just keep saying I'm rolling dice, I'm flipping coins, and I'm funny, and I'm better looking than everyone up here. I'm either number one or number two, and people are gonna laugh, and I want people to laugh because this whole politics thing is a joke, and these guys are all puppets. And
Under our plan,
and if Bernie is real, which he might not be a
any
puppet, Bernie Sanders guy, but they're just not gonna let him win then.
want any
I want all votes to Clinton. He said
Hospital-
that. It's like, what? What are you talking about?
What?
And then they transferred them all. And then Hillary Clinton got them all.
we will
It's very weird.
substantially lower the cost of healthcare in this country because we'll stop the greed of the insurance
Correct.
companies.
On this,
Yeah, let's stop the greed of the insurance companies. We're smarter than the insurance companies. You guys are so stupid.
we have to think about how this
These guys are idiots. These ones. All of them idiots.
Sure.
Trump didn't win because he's this great guy. He won because he's different. And these guys are all political puppet, bought and paid for dum-dums, idiots. I'm not going to use big swear words because I decided I'm not going to do that.
And the reality of how this affects real people is captured in a story that many of us heard, and I will paraphrase. There is any night.
At least she's got some bloodline. She's going like, ah. I kind of like it. She thinks she's doing something here.
Who's seeing that their child has a temperature that is out of control, calls 911. What should I do?
Emotional arguments work well, especially if you're a woman.
Take the child to the emergency room. And so they get in their car and they drive and they're sitting in the parking lot outside of the emergency room looking at those sliding glass doors while they have the hand on the forehead of their child, knowing that if they walk through those sliding glass doors, even though they have insurance, they will be out a $5,000 deductible when they walk through those doors. That's what insurance companies are doing in America today.
We're going to continue this discussion. I want us to put it in a different candidates, please.
I'm one of those parents. I was just in the emergency room, and I'm telling
Congressman, thank you.
We fight health insurance companies every single week. We stand in line and pay expensive prescription drugs. We have to have a health care guarantee. If you're sick, you're seen, and in America, you never go broke because of it.
Okay. A lot of you have been talking tonight about these government health care plans that you've proposed in one form or another. This is a show of hands question, and hold them up.
You rack up medical debt. Listen, my friend, he went in the hospital, and he was broke. He had no money. He was working at Best Buy. He made $9 an hour or something. And they said, wait, how much do you make? And he's like, not that much. And he goes, how about you give us $50 a month for the next 50 years? And he says, okay.
Moment, so people can see.
It's not that hard. Medical debt, I don't
Raise
know.
your
But
hand if
it's, don't get me wrong, it sucks.
Government plan would provide coverage for undocumented
They're making
immigrants.
it seem like the sky is falling because some kid got a headache. It sucks, but we're talking about Democratic nominees right here. We got advertisements. People are making money. NBC News making money. Am I an idiot? Yeah. Everyone's like, yeah. And Biden's like, should I raise my hand here?
Let me start with you, Mayor Buttigieg. Why?
Oh, you idiots. Yeah.
Mayor Buttigieg, why?
Because our country is healthier when everybody is healthier. And remember, we're talking
Andrew
about
Yang says, I want to turn.
something people are given a chance to buy into.
When you pass go, get $1,000, baby. Boy.
In the same way that there are
And I don't want to make fun of Yang because I got my micro UBI from his idea of UBI.
undocumented immigrants in my community who pay.
Thousands just way too much. The prices of everything's going to go up 20%. The stocks are going up 20% or more.
They pay sales taxes. They pay property taxes directly or indirectly. This is not about a handout. This is an insurance program. And we do ourselves no favors by having 11 million undocumented people in our country be unable to access health care. But of course, the real problem is we shouldn't have 11 million undocumented people with no pathway to citizenship. It makes no sense. And the American people.
Okay, I'm with you there. If
American people.
I'm not Republican on this issue. Like, if someone's in our country, dude, you made it. Good job. Welcome home. You're a freaking human. I don't believe in aliens. I believe in humans. Now, if someone's here illegally, we need to build bigger gates and bigger, not the Trump wall for like the ego thing, but just don't let them in. But I want 5 million in a year illegally instead of 1 million. And I want amnesty unless they break 2 or 3 laws, then send them back.
Dude.
And I know they're not going to help the economy, but I don't want to send them back. I don't want to send them from heaven to hell.
Crazy thing.
It's just, I don't. Second greatest commandment wants me to keep me here, and the Democrats have that heart.
If leadership consists of
we can give them food stamps, we can give them a better life, and they will work and pick up skills.
A consensus.
It just sucks when they don't know English because I can't give them the gospel and I can't evangelize to them, and it's just like, ugh, I go to the next guy.
It's around a divisive issue. This White House has divided us around a consensus issue. The American people want a pathway to citizenship. They want protections for dreamers. We need to clean up the lawful immigration.
Yeah, well, why is the White House white? See, you got to throw in some jokes, otherwise everyone's going to take it too seriously, and then they're not going to take it seriously because it's too serious and you can't be trusted because you're a politician. That's what Buttigieg, you got to throw in jokes. Trump threw in jokes over and over again. Yeah, I didn't say anything about your face is this. He did that every 2 hours to make sure everyone knows that all these guys are a joke, and he won on that.
Father immigrated to this country.
This isn't the past. This is like way in the
part of a compromise.
June 27th, it says.
Do whatever common sense measures are needed at the border, but Washington can't deliver on something the American people want. What does that tell you about the system we're living in? It tells you it needs profound structural reform.
Vice President Biden, I believe you said that your health care plan would not cover undocumented immigrants. Could you explain your position?
I'm sorry, I beg your pardon.
I believe at the show of hands you did not raise your hand.
I beg your
Did you raise your hand?
No, I did.
These are the guys running for office. I beg your pardon? What?
Okay.
It's like, how about you get up there and listen?
Sorry. So you said they would be covered.
But you're an idiot.
Under
Trump he got his D- looks like an A+ because of these Biden
plan, which is different
idiots.
than Obamacare.
Yes,
Such
but
great
here-
abomination is man. Abomination is man who drinks iniquity like it is water. Job 15:16.
You explain that change.
Yes, you cannot let, as the mayor said, you cannot let people who are sick, no matter where they come from, no matter what their status, go uncovered. You can't do that. It's just going to be taken care of, period. You have to. It's a humane thing to do. But here's the deal. The deal is that he's right about three things. Number one, they, in fact, contribute to the well-being of the country, but they also, for example, they've increased the lifespan of Social Security because they have a job, they're paying a Social Security tax. That's what they're doing. It's increased the lifespan. They would do the same thing in terms of reducing the overall cost of health care by them being able to be treated and not wait till they're in extremis. The other thing is, folks, look, we can deal with these insurance companies. We can deal with the insurance companies by, number one, putting insurance executives in jail for their misleading advertising, what they're doing on opioids, what they're doing paying doctors to prescribe. We
I don't
could
like
be doing
these irrelevant red
so by
herrings.
making
They're so stupid.
sure everyone who is on Medicare, that the government should be able to negotiate the
It's
price
like,
for whatever,
wouldn't
whatever
you
the
rather
drug costs.
hear him bomb on a joke? Like a joke that just doesn't land would have been better than everything you just said there. These guys, they don't get.
Do this by making.
They don't understand how circus monkey they are.
Sure, they're in a
and they
position-
just need to start dancing like a monkey every once in a while.
That we, in fact,
And I get it, and they don't.
People.
That's why we need 21-year-olds running and 18-year-olds running even. Not 35-year-olds that are always 50 or 60 or 70.
Time's up.
I just want to
This is
stress
so stupid.
Actually, hold off a minute. We need to take a
And
short
then he
break.
said like he did something right there. No, you made us all bored, and now everyone's fighting for the mic because they're like the bar's been set so low. And Andrew Yang's like, I don't have a tie, and I don't get to speak, and I agree with everyone.
Here, we got a lot
So
more we need to talk to
stupid.
all of you about, so stick with us. We're just getting started. We'll be back with more from Miami right after this.
Driving 3 hours to watch this. You just sit back and watch it for free.
For the first time, I was going to talk to the prettiest and most powerful girl in the
I
school.
want to watch this ad.
What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing, right?
Eliza immediately blasted me with her water superpower.
Yeah, this happens
I
to me
flew
all the
across the
time.
hall before slamming into a locker. Who said you could ask me out? Do you even have an ability? I scrambled to grab my things. I just wanted your help unlocking my power before the military picks us up in 2 hours. Eliza scoffed. And you think I'll risk my ranking by associating myself with a powerless level 0 pervert like you? Everyone thought I was one of the only people in the world without powers, but I was going to prove them all wrong. As I reached into my backpack, my heart sank. My locked ability book from my dead parents, the one thing that could potentially grant me a power, was missing. Eliza chuckled and picked up the book from the floor. Seriously? You wanted help opening this pathetic thing? In her hand was my black ability book, covered in ancient symbols, radiating dark energy. I reached for it, but suddenly someone shoved me into the locker. Riley Blade, the most powerful student in the school, loomed over me. You think you can talk to my girl, you little sicko? You just failed your final assessment. You're officially worthless. Eliza flocked to his side and kissed him on the cheek. He took my book and stared at it. So your book won't open? Why? Are your parents too poor to get you an ability book that actually works? Nearby
This is
students
scary.
laughed, but I ignored their jeers and rose.
I'm going through
I
paranoia.
was certain
It's
that if I could
interesting.
just open my book, I'd unlock power unlike anyone had ever seen. It was the last thing I had from my
vampire
parents
system.
after they died in the Dalkey War.
Oh, the
I was going to
paranoia
get it
went away,
back.
so it's not as entertaining anymore. I enjoyed that for a little bit. It was all figured
Welcome back from Miami, Jose.
But then
You're on the
anyway,
question in this round.
Thank you very much.
It's just bad.
Senator Harris, last month, more than 130,000 migrants were apprehended at the southern border. Many of them are being detained, including small children
Even
in
on
private
2X, these guys
detention
are
centers
just boring.
in Florida and throughout our country. Most of the candidates on this stage say the conditions at these facilities
I want to have one politician up there and a bunch of regular people, plumbers.
are abhorrent.
I'm just here for the 400K. LOL.
On January 20th,
Like, just come on, get some
just
real people in
2020,
here.
if you are president,
That's what Washington wanted.
specifically would you do with the
That's
thousands
why
of
the
people
rules are
who
so
try to
easy
reach
to get in.
the United States every day and want a better life through asylum?
Immediately on January 20th of 2021, I will first of all, we cannot forget our DACA recipients, so I'm going to start there. I will immediately, by executive action, reinstate DACA status and DACA protection to those young people. I will further extend protection for deferral of deportation for their parents and for veterans who we have so many who are undocumented and have served our country and fought for our democracy. I will also immediately put in place a meaningful process for reviewing the cases for asylum. I will release children from cages. I will get rid of the private detention centers. And I will ensure that this microphone that the President of the United States holds in her hand is used in a way that is about reflecting the values of our country and not
That didn't age
about
well.
locking children up, separating them from their parents. And I have to just say that we have to think about this issue in terms of real people. A mother who pays a coyote to transport her child through their country of origin, through the entire country
I think she's the shiniest
Mexico.
turd in this debate.
facing unknown peril to come here.
I'm not really liking her
Why would
that
that
much
mother
though,
do that?
but
I will tell you. Because she has decided for that child
she's getting a B- on
mean,
the acting and all
they
this,
are is
but
worse. But what
she's
does
a clown in a different way.
Donald Trump do? He says, go back to where you came
This is she's not very genuine.
from. That is
My
not reflective
stepmom yelling at us to pick up clothes are more genuine than this girl.
of our America and our values, and it's got to end.
Governor Hickenlooper.
That was still very fake. I get it, to be honest, but that's on the political side.
Day one, if you are.
How about Andrew Yang?
Day one at the White House.
Andrew
How
Yang has nothing to say on these issues.
do you
Deal
respond?
with these children?
Let me get to you in just a
If you
second.
don't have anything to say, be funny. But they don't know how. They
Governor.
don't have a funny bone.
Day one,
They all think
Thousands.
they're gonna.
of men,
This is
women, and
crazy.
children cross the border asking for asylum for a better life. What do you do? Day one, hour one.
Well, certainly the images we've seen this week.
I mean, what would I do if I got this question? Hello, everyone. First of all, it's hypothetical. I'm a politician, so I'm gonna take your question slowly, and I'm not gonna answer it directly. I'm gonna pipe up myself. I have 350 Bible verses, and one of them is Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 22. It's the cheerful heart that brings good medicine. A crushed spirit drieth the bones. Everyone's going to laugh at that, and then they're going to say, thank you, Mr. Autism Guy. And then they wonder why I have 49% of the votes, which is almost as much as everyone else combined. It's because we can see through your guys'
Just
BS.
compound the emotional impact that the world is judging us by. If you'd ever
John Hickenlooper. That's going to be our next president.
told me any time in my life that this country
John Hickenlooper Heimenschmidt. He was a Democratic man too.
would sanction federal agents to take children from the arms of their parents, put them in cages, actually put them up for adoption. In Colorado, we call that kidnapping. I would have told you. I would have told you it was unbelievable.
He's just falling right into that hypothetical.
And the first thing we have to do is recognize the humanitarian crisis on the border for what it is. We make sure that there are the sufficient facilities in place so that women and children are not separated from their families, the children are with their families. We have to make sure that ICE is completely reformed and they begin looking at their job in a humanitarian way where they're addressing the whole needs of the people that they are engaged with along the border. And we have to make sure ultimately that we provide not just shelter, but food, clothing, and access to medical care. Ms. Williamson.
Yes, what Donald Trump has done to these children, and it's not just in Colorado, Governor, you're right, it is kidnapping, and it's extremely important for us to realize that. If you forcibly take a child from their parents' arms, you're kidnapping them. And if you take a lot of children and you put them in a detainment center, thus inflicting chronic trauma upon them, that's called child abuse. This is collective child abuse. And when this is crime, both of those things are a crime, and if your government does it, that doesn't make it less of a crime. These are state-sponsored crimes. And what President Trump has done...
Why are we talking about this? I'm with Andrew Yang on this one. He's like, come on, guys. I agree.
Not only attack these children, not only demonize these immigrants,
He's
he
the
is
one who
attacking
hasn't
a
talked
basic
yet.
principle of America's moral core. We open our hearts to the
This
stranger.
girl's kind of pretty. I don't know why.
This is extremely important, and it's also important
She's
for
kind
all
of
of
old gold here.
to remember. And I have great
But I don't like makeup in
respect for
general.
everyone who's on this stage. But we're going to talk about what to do about healthcare. Well, where have you been, guys? Because if it's not just a matter of a plan, and I haven't heard anybody on this stage who's talked about American foreign policy in Latin America and how we might have in the last few decades contributed to something big more.
Excuse me, have you played that number gate runner? You know, blue soldier, left, right, times 2, minus 3?
Yes, I played last war.
Yes.
Brand, what would you do as president with a reality?
Well, one of the worst things about President Trump that he's done to this
What would I
country
do with President? Now, this is an easy question.
is he's torn
Oh, my goodness.
apart the moral fact.
The American people chose right and it wasn't rigged? Hallelujah. I get... My goodness.
Of who we are.
What an easy question.
He started separating children at the border from their parents. The fact that 7 children have died in his custody. The fact that dozens of children have been separated from their parents and they have no plan to reunite them. So I would do a few things. First, I would fight for comprehensive immigration reform with a pathway to citizenship. Second, I would reform how we treat asylum seekers at the border. I would have a community-based treatment center where you're doing it within the communities, where asylum seekers are given lawyers, where there's real immigration judges, not employees of the Attorney General, but appointed for life, and have a community-based system. I would fund border security. But the worst thing President Trump has done is he's diverted the funds away from cross-border terrorism, cross-border human trafficking, drug trafficking, and gun trafficking, and he's given that money to the for-profit prisons. I would not be spending money in for-profit prisons to lock up children and asylum seekers.
We had a very spirited debate on this stage last night on the topic of decriminalization of the border. If you'd be so kind, raise your hand if you think it should be a civil offense rather than a crime to cross a border without documentation. Can we keep the hands up so we can see them?
I got my hands up.
Let's remember, that's not just a theoretical exercise. That criminalization, that is the basis for
The reason why they're coming to this country is because we're so good and they're so bad.
family separation.
I want to have foreign aid,
Wait.
and housing illegal aliens is part of the foreign aid.
It's no longer possible. Of course, it wouldn't be possible anyway in my presidency.
They all have their hand down.
Because it is dead wrong. We got to talk about one other thing, because
It's just another time that the Democrats beat the Republicans legit.
party likes to cloak itself in the language of religion.
It's so hard for
Now-
my dad to vote Trump, but he did it.
Our party doesn't talk about that as much, largely for a very good reason, which was we are committed to the separation of church and state, and we stand for people of any
All the BLM stuff you don't
religion
like
and
too.
people of no religion. But we should call out hypocrisy when we see it. And for a party that associates itself,
You should call out hypocrisy when he sees it. First thing you should just point to yourself and everyone else around you. Otherwise, we're not seeing it.
Christian,
you guys are so stupid.
to say that it is
You guys
okay
know what a hypocrite is?
to suggest that God would smile on the division.
I'm a dude playing a dude, disguised another dude. You just say it's a joke, and I'm already beating all you guys in this video. People watch this video, want to vote for me over you guys. Why have you been president? I'm 34. I can't change the laws until I'm 35, you guys. Why do you think I'm not president yet? I'm 34. Mom, why isn't Dad president? He's 34.
Families at the
That's exactly right.
hands of federal agents that God would condone putting children in cages has lost all claim to ever use religious language again.
Vice President, Mr. Vice President, I don't know if you raise your hand or we're just asking
He hasn't said anything.
to speak. Would you
It's like
criminalize
Andrew Yang's an outsider.
crossing the border
And
without
Bernie's kind of an outsider too.
documents?
The first thing I would do is unite families. I'd surge immediately. Billions
Andrew
of dollars
Yang's
worth of
like, what does this have to do with anything?
help to the
I want sports betting legal. He's hilarious.
immediately. Look, we talk about foreign policy.
And that's what I'm going to say too, by the way.
I'm the guy that got a bipartisan agreement at the very end of the campaign.
If you guys
the
can
very-
hokey doke, hope, hokey doke, dippy dip, 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 and now the little baby is
Spends-
no longer in there.
$740 million
I can have sports betting legal.
to deal
That's not
with the
something we can vote. We should vote on.
and that was to go to the root
It's not a
cause of
state
why
issue. It's legal across the board. If you get to America, you can bet on a sporting event that may or may not be rigged, but hey, it might be rigged in your favor. Just pick on the team of color.
people are
The
leaving
color team that you like.
in the first place.
And if it's one-on-one boxing, bet on the bigger, blacker guy.
Was working. We saw, as you know, a net decrease in the number of children who were coming. The crisis was abated. And along came this president. He said he immediately discontinued that. We all talk about these things. I did it. I did it. 740 million. Now look, second thing we have to do. The law now requires the reuniting of those families. We would reunite those families, period. And if not, we put those children in a circumstance where they were safe until we could find their parents. And lastly, the idea that he's in court with his Justice Department saying children in cages do not need a bed, do not need a blanket, do not need a toothbrush. That is outrageous.
Vice President, the Obama-Biden administration was the Obama-Biden
So
administration
boring.
deported
Sorry.
more than 3 million Americans. My question to you is, if an individual is living in the United States of America without documents, and that is his only offense, should that person be deported?
No.
Depending if they committed a major crime, they should be deported. And the president was elected. President Obama, I think, did a heck of a job. To compare him to what this guy's doing is absolutely, I find, close to immoral. But the fact is that, look, we
Heck is short for hell.
Should
He
not
did a hell of a job.
be locking people up. We should be making sure we change the
What a-
circumstance
what a
as we did,
saying,
why
man.
they would leave
You did a hell of a job. As
In
if
the
it's good.
first place.
Hell is bad. Hell's supposed to be bad.
And those
But it's like built-in sarcasm, and we'll get it eventually.
who come
Weird language, English.
seeking asylum. We should immediately have the capacity to absorb
Obama did a hell of a job.
and keep
He said it
them
was the Antichrist. He came through.
So they
Hell
can-
of a job.
heard.
A 15-second, if you could, if you wish to answer. Should someone who is here without documents, and that is his only offense, should that person be deported?
That person should not be the focus of
Yeah, he should not be deported.
deportation. We should fundamentally change the way we deal with things.
Amen.
Senator,
I'm with you guys on
suggest that
that.
I agree with a lot of what Kamala just said.
Just put yourself in his shoes. Do you want to get shipped back to freaking Mexico?
And that is
go back to that job at $2 an hour?
Day one, we take out our executive order pen and we rescind every damn thing on this issue that Trump has done. Number two, picking
I'll give you that. That's
one
how
point.
freaking king being wrecked by another king works.
Germany. We got to look at the root causes. And you have a
Good for you, Bernie.
situation where Honduras, among other things, is a failing
Okay,
state.
Bernie is way better than Kamala at like he you can tell he actually believes what he's saying because
That's a
Kamala didn't
corruption.
believe what she was saying, but she did more than Biden and some other people. This guy's gonna get an A or an A.
You got
He might be wrong about everything, but at least he believes it.
gangs who are
And that's why
telling
people like him because he's like he might be an old guy that's just wrong about everything, but he believes it.
Families
And he's like legit.
that if a 10-year-old does not
They're
join
just not gonna let him win.
the gang,
I want all votes, all votes, all votes to Clinton.
that family is going to be killed. What we have got to do on day one is invite the presidents and the leadership of Central America and Mexico together. This is a hemispheric problem that we have got
Congressman
to address.
Swalwell, what do you do?
Listen, I'm going to be a puppet, but I want to be a puppet to the American people and the dynamic cabinet people that you send in. It could be a fifth grade teacher. In fact, I would want it to be your fifth grade teacher, and she could stay with me for the 47 months, 46 months, 45 months, 44 months, whatever month you sent her in, and she could do all of the foreign affairs. I just want to be chief citizen, hand out Purple Hearts, and be a good-looking dude, unlike Biden and Trump, honestly. I mean,
No.
Trump's good-looking, but he's
If-
not as good-looking as me.
Someone is here without documents, and that
I'll be a better-looking
Is there-
65-year-old chief citizen. Now, Obama's a good-looking dude.
only offense.
But I'm not gonna be chief citizen. I'm not gonna be launching nukes.
Person.
I got schizophrenia. I'm gonna put an executive order. If you have schizophrenia, you do not get to launch nukes on your own.
To be deported.
No, that person can be.
And it's hilarious. I think we'll give the nuclear codes to Eric, and he'll roll dice before launching nukes.
Part of this great.
I do want to play Kim Jong Un at any sport of his choice, including golf. He said he scored 18 hole-in-ones in a row. No, you didn't.
American
I have a personal vendetta against Kim Jong Un.
experience. That
We'll bet any amount of money you want, and let's play golf. Let's see how that goes for you. Real golf.
contribute. My congressional district is one of the most diverse in America, and we see the benefits when people contribute and they become.
This guy's full of crap.
Part of the community, and they're not in the shadow economy.
Oh, it's a shame. His name's Eric Swalwell. What a brutal name, dude.
Day one for me.
Hey, do you Swalwell?
Families are reunited. This president, though,
What
for
a brutal
immigrants,
name.
there's nothing he will not do to separate a family.
Does Eric Swalwell? I don't
Cage
know,
a child
does he?
or a rape.
And he looks like he swallows well. Oh my god.
Their existence by weaponizing the census. And there is
make a joke already. What are you saying?
nothing
No one knows who you are.
that we cannot do in the courts and that I will not
You don't
do.
have $5 billion.
President.
Just believe me. Just make a joke.
Reverse that and to make sure that families always belong together.
Senator Harris.
And then he gives us a tongue jut at the end too. He doesn't even believe what he just said. You guys want to watch that? Tongue juts are pretty reliable. So if we're gonna skip this, we're gonna go back to let's watch this.
Well, thank you.
Courts and that I will not do is
Now we're gonna run this to 0.75. Watch the tongue
President.
jut here. He doesn't even believe what he's saying. Now why do we have a pop-up
to
ad?
reverse that and to make sure that families always belong together.
The families always belong together. He realizes, oh, I'm pro-choice. Watch this. Watch. Here comes the tongue jut. This is where he just lied and got away with it. He doesn't care about families. Watch this. It's coming up. He's like, yes, I got away with it. This is international. Watch this. Boom. There it is. You'd never see Bernie hit us with a tongue jut because Bernie believes what he's saying. This guy didn't even believe what he just said, and what he said was nonsense. You didn't get away with anything. You're an idiot. Eric, do you swallow well? Look at this. He lied about nothing, and he got away with it. It's just nonsense jargon. And then now he's a snake, and now he's out of there. He's like, yeah.
Well, thank you.
Still better than Yang. Yang hasn't said anything.
I will say, no, absolutely not. They should not be deported.
Plus,
And
no
I
one
actually.
knows, nobody knows tongue jut. Tongue jut came from Joe Navarro, an FBI guy.
This was one of the very few issues with which I disagreed with the administration, with whom I otherwise had a great relationship and a great deal of respect. But on the secure communities issue, I was Attorney General of California. I led the second largest Department of Justice in the United States, second only to the United States Department
I do not like this girl anymore. I
of
was
Justice.
hyping her up, but Bernie's so much better than this girl.
40 million
This girl's just icky, gross.
people.
Yeah.
And on this.
The B minus is looking bad now.
Disagreed with my president because the policy was to allow deportation of people who, by ICE's own definition,
she's just oozing with lies here, and there's a 0.00% chance she's going to drop a joke somewhere too.
We're not.
That's the other thing is they are just gross.
Criminals. So, as Attorney General and the Chief Law Officer of the state of
Next time they ask a
California,
question, I'll try to answer it as if I was up there. Speak a little bit slower, make a joke, or quote a Bible verse. We're all going to get this together. My dynamic cabinet is going to save the country. I'm just looking good. And I'm a puppet, but you know who has the strings. I'm going to give the president more power. Not me, but the next guy who comes in. I'm going to make him closer to a king than a president because all the power is in the back. At least we know who has the power. The president makes $400,000 a year. Who was the guy who, Bill Burr, I think it was, he said they should get, they should get $400 million a year.
directive to the sheriff of my
See what
state
happens.
that they did not have to comply with
I know
detaining.
it's supposed to be the public servant and all that, but I want to give them a lottery, like lottery odds. Plus, we might get some people who love money to come and run this country. Oh, at least I'll get money. Let's give them. And when I'll take the $400K. The guy who comes in after me, he gets, let's just say, $125 million.
That should
make just print it off the printing press, and we'll see what he does with it. And let's see if he gives it to the poor. You know, let's see if who he gives it to.
Decisions based on the best interest of public safety of their community. Because what I saw, and I was tracking it.
And I'll even say this: if I win again, I'll take 400 again. The guy after that will take 125 million.
Every day.
I'm not trying to hype my own pockets, pad my pockets here.
I was tracking it and saw that parents, people who had not committed a crime, even by ICE's own definition, were being deported. But I have to add a point here. The problem with this kind of policy, and I know it as a prosecutor, I want a rape victim to be able to run in the middle of the street and wave down a police officer and report the crime against her. I want anybody who has been the victim of any real crime to be able to do that and not be afraid that if they do that, they will be deported because the abuser will tell them it is they who is the criminal. It is wrong. It is wrong.
We're going to turn to the issue of trade now, if we can. Last night we asked the candidates on this stage to name.
I'm going to do my best, okay? So let's just say, Eric, answer this question. I don't know what the question is going to be. I'm probably not going to know the answer because I'm not in politics and I'm not going to study politics too much. But I'll just tell you, the answer is going to be my dynamic cabinet knows. But let's just see what he says to me.
Greatest geopolitical threat facing the U.S. 4 of them mention China. U.S. businesses say China steals our intellectual property, and party leaders on both sides.
The biggest problem is not enough jokes.
Accuse China of manipulating their currency to keep the cost of
Jesus of Nazareth did not have enough
goods
jokes.
artificially low. I'll ask this to Senator Bennett to start off with.
John 21:25 goof text.
How would you stand up to China?
Kennedy.
I think that, first of all, the
cost of goods artificially low. I'll ask this to China. U.S. businesses say China steals our intellectual property, and party leaders on both sides accuse China of manipulating their currency to keep the cost of goods artificially low. I'll ask this to Senator Bennett to start off with. How would you stand up to China?
Crypto. Just go straight to crypto on this one. Easy. How would I stand up to China? Maybe because we have better currency, we'll out-manipulate them. Silver and gold. Take the silver and gold back. There's so many ways you could go with this.
the biggest threat to our national security right now is Russia, not China. And second, on China, we've got competition because of what they've done with our election. In China, I think the president's been right to push back on China, but has done it in completely the wrong way. We should mobilize the entire rest of the world, who all have a shared interest in pushing back.
How are they beating us in economics? This is what I don't get. We print money out of thin air. We send it to their citizens and we give them $2 a day to make all their stuff. Then they put it on a boat and send it back to us. And then we buy it for pennies on dollar. How are they beating? And then we loan them money so that their leaders, we pay off their big boy leaders. What are you talking about? China's manipulating their currency. We're manipulating their currency. We tell the big guys in China, keep all their slaves there, right? They have a bunch of little slaves, and then they do all the work for $2 a day, and they make all of our cameras and stuff. That's how the world economy works. Because it's illegal to pay them that much here. And if they somehow, someway hit the 1 in a million jackpot to jump ship and get in the ship and then jump the jump and get and finally get into this country, we have the Republicans like Charlie Kirk kicking them out because I was born here and you wasn't. And I was born in a good country with good schools, and you wasn't. And that's how that works, because you were on my yard, and I kick you out of my yard. And he yells it like that. And 3 years later, he was shot in the neck. I can't even, dude. 3 years later, he was shot in the neck. It was like 2 weeks, or like a week and a half. I was like, this guy is the best death. And then like 3 weeks after, what was I saying with Charlie Kirk? 3 years later, he was shot in the neck. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. I love betraying, just the parody betrayals. I'm known for my parody betrayals. and I'm going to parody betrayal my Democratic Party. I listen, I'm Republican right now. I'm about to betray my party to go to the Democratic Party with the intention of a parody betrayal of the Democratic Party. I started off Democrat, betrayed them for the Libertarians, betrayed them for the Republicans. Now I'm going to betray them for the Democrat with the intention of losing to the Republicans on purpose and telling everyone my idea beforehand and barely beating D's nuts, who is a slightly, you could say, better joke than me or less of a joke. I think I could beat D's nuts in jokes barely. D's nuts is a good joke. He got 30% of the vote, 20% of the vote, 12% of the vote, whatever it was. He got a lot of votes. D's nuts. But that's just one joke. He might have the best joke, but I have 10, 20, 30 jokes. Okay, how about this? How do we beat China? Well, everything I just said, I could just say that. Just rambling on. Oh yeah, the Chinese are beating us in money. And they're manipulating their currency when our currency goes over there and can buy up 12, 24, 36, 48 hours of labor for $2.25 because George Washington said so. Oh, snap. And I just want to get the whole people laughing off of that. Oh, yeah, the Chinese are manipulating their currency. Now, and then let's go back to Petruderio, who was like Pete Petruderio, and he goes, we need to call out hypocrisy where we see it. Yeah, how about us manipulating our currency? Our currency is 1% undervalued in America and 4,000% overvalued in every other country. You know how much a double cheeseburger with bacon, sauce, mac jerky, sippity sauce, plus a Coke and a fries and a drink in India is? $1.19 for the full family pack. Mac, double sauce Mac, 39 cents for a burger. When it's here, it's $4.49. The second one's $1, so it's $2.50 for a burger here, and it's 39 cents in India. How about a manipulation of currency? But no, it's the Chinese that are borrowing money at interest. I'm sorry, they're lending us money. We borrow from them, and then we inflate the currency and pay it back. There's so many ways to scam every other country, and we've been doing. I don't want to say scam. I don't want to say rip off. I'm gonna say we're dealing very, very fairly, I would say. And how about where we ripped off the whole? How about 1913? Do you guys know? You guys want a little history lesson on money and how money works? 1913. Okay, the Federal Reserve was established, and we had a dollar, a gold-backed dollar. So we legit had the best dollar in the world. Now, the other countries, they started, why would we use gold and silver anymore when we use dollars? Dollars can be redeemed in the Fort Knox at any time for gold. So let's just use paper. And then they started using USD. That's how we got the world currency, because we earned that glory. 1971, Nixon says, let's go off it for 30 months, see if anyone notices. They did it. So then they took all the money out of Fort Knox, out of the gold. They moved it somewhere into, safer hands. And now we have the world reserve currency. We don't even have the gold to back it. And that's our currency. But they're manipulating their fiat currencies. We have the biggest fiat Ponzi scheme of all time, but it's the Chinese that are manipulating it. They're all idiots. The question asker, the question answers. The listeners don't know what's going on. Yeah, Chinese manipulate. He said that. That sounds slanted, really slanted. Just throwing a joke like that. Now that is some slanted stuff. Trump won because he was speaking at third grade level. Hillary Clinton was speaking at 11, 12, 13, 14, 15th grade level. No one even understands what she was saying. Like, a lot of people don't know this. 30% of America can't even read at a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th grade level. Period. And they don't need to. And they filtered it out of their mind. They don't do that stuff. And they're working, they don't have time to watch a 2-hour debate. They want to watch the highlights. So make it funny, you guys. Where's these nuts? He wasn't a real person, that's why he lost. But let's see what he says.
Until his trade policies, and I think we can do that. I'd like to answer the other question before this as well.
Do you have the time?
When I see these kids at the
I just
border,
want to hog the mic a little bit more, you know?
I see my mom because I know she sees herself because she was separated from her parents for years during the Holocaust in Poland.
I see what the strategy is. The Democrat has always been the heart of the country, and the Republican has always been the mind. And the Republican is like, let's do both, and that never works. So he's going to like an emotional thing here. How about jokes for emotional? Learn how to tell jokes, you guys.
And for Donald Trump to be doing what he's doing
That's a joke.
to children and their families at the borders, I say this as somebody who wrote the immigration bill in 2013 that created a pathway to citizenship for 11 million people in this country, that had the most progressive DREAM Act that's ever been conceived, much less passed. It got 68 votes in the Senate, that had $46 billion of border security in it. There was sophisticated 21st century border security, not a medieval wall. And
do you guys get it now? How much better my answer was if they just let me spew my stuff? Ugh. And then this guy's like picking up energy here and he's talking a bunch of nonsense.
Turn the border of the United States into a symbol of nativist hostility that the whole world is looking at, when what we should be represented by is the Statue of Liberty, which has brought my parents.
You don't think our money psychos who have been out gambling have been out chess matching in money for the last, our Rockefeller, Rothschild, super grandmaster, Omega puppet string masters, you don't think they have this under control? They'll manipulate all the countries and use them as pawns and all that. The Westing G.G. Gergers, I can't even name their names because they're so little slimy balls. Slimy guys.
To begin with, we need to make.
Welcome to Iron Beam, the future of futures trading. With our cutting-edge chart.
Change. Mr. Yang, let me bring you in on the issue of China. You've expressed a lot of concerns about technology and taking jobs. Are you worried about China? And if so, how would you stand up against it?
Well, I just want to agree that I think Russia is our greatest geopolitical.
Oh, Yang. We got some Yang here.
Because they've been hacking our democracy successfully. They've been laughing their asses off about it for the last couple of years. We should focus on that before we start worrying about other threats. Now, China, they do pirate our intellectual property. It's a massive problem. But the tariffs and the trade war are just punishing businesses and producers and workers on both sides. I met with a farmer in Iowa who.
I agree with the trade wars are lame.
He spent 6 years building up a buying relationship in China that's now disappeared and gone forever. And the beneficiaries have not been American workers or people in China. It's been Southeast Asia and other producers that have then stepped into the void. So we need to crack down on Chinese malfeasance in the trade relationship, but the tariffs and the trade war are the wrong way to go.
All right, Mayor Buttigieg, how would you stand up against China?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we've got to recognize that the China challenge really is.
How do we stand up against China? Imagine asking a Major League Baseball team, how are you going to beat that minor league baseball team again? You just beat them like 24 times in a row. How are you going to beat them again? That's what it sounds like to me.
The serious one.
As if China is somehow beating us. We have, you know what makes us win all these currency wars? We borrow money from China, and when they say, hey, give that money back, we look at them and say, give what back? And we have all these weapons and mass destruction weapons and weapons and weapons and weapons of weapons. And they said, nothing. We want to borrow some more money. Okay. And then China prints more money. Here's the thing, you guys. We have more guns than every country in the world combined. That's how we win the trade wars, boys. When people say, how do you know America's the best? I think it has something to do with Smith & Wesson. I think it has something to do with my biceps. We got more guns. The Second Amendment is important. The First Amendment and Kirsten with her clothes off is even more important. Yeah, I said it. A girl. And she's naked. Left field, naked. Kirsten Moore. That's the hottest girl. She was a 5th grade teacher or something. She's hot. She worked at Granada Bowl. Let me just name drop. She was cute. And now she's aging. She's like 40 now. No, she's like 38. She's not aging at quite as good, but she's still like an 8, 9. She was so scary to talk to. She was so beautiful. The Second Amendment's important, but the First Amendment and Kirsten Moore with her clothes off is even more important. We got the freedom of speech, but we got guns, lots of guns. The NRA says everyone should own a gun. Well, how about this? My dad gets a job at the Las Positas College. He makes a bunch of money. He has kids because he can afford them. Big time. $200,000 house that's going to be worth $1 million in 20 years, 30 years. That's what he does now. That's what he has. And he got a reverse mortgage at the best time in all time. Out of that, any time to ever get a reverse mortgage, he got it at the perfect exact time when inflation's over the reverse mortgage rate. Silver just went up 50%. Three months later, 50% again. Then it dropped, but it'll go back up. Everyone's fighting for the real thing, gold and silver. They just dumped their phony Bitcoins for real gold and silver. I could put all this into a soundbite, or I can make a joke. It's going to be better than whatever Pete Buttigieg is going to say. The Indiana mayor. Why would we vote for the South Bend, Indiana mayor when we could vote for the quasi-autistic high school graduate, college dropout because they were all a bunch of idiots? I dropped out of college because they were stupid. You don't think I could have got another 3 years? If I was learning something more than the internet, I would have stayed. The guy's trying to tell me what a fan of baseball is. Yeah, I think I'll stay home. I got my 13 credits. I'm done. Plus, I could tell anyone at any time, yeah, I went to college. I got 1 semester. Oh, did you? Cool. I went to college. Nobody cares that you went to college. They should talk about college. If there's one thing Charlie Kirk was right about, college is a scam for a very large percentage of people. Unless your degree is like printing money on the way out, which some degrees are, college is not for everyone. Anyways.
This is not something to dismiss or wave away. And if you look at what China is doing, they're using tech.
It absolutely is something to dismiss and wave away. What are you talking about? You think China has anything on us? China. They have a plan 7 generations from now. Their kids are going to be so smart. We're so smart at the top. The elites are so smart. We're dumbing down the bottom generation because if they're smart enough, they'll overthrow the top guys and now we'll have new guys up at the top. The Rockefellers are so smart, they dumb down the little kids so they're not that smart so that they can stay smart at the top. And they're going to get replaced by the next family, and all the intelligences are trapped up top. China's like, we could get on that level in like 300 years. Let's try now. And they try to make their kids as fast as they can. They created TikTok. They send us the dumb dance videos, and as if that's going to make our kids, like, we're all going to die now that we're watching dance videos. You guys are so ridiculous. This pipe dream. You have to, if you want to beat us, you got to get our guns. You don't have the guns. You're never going to get the guns, you guys. We have the guns. Do you get it? Do you get it yet? We have the guns, you guys. We have the military. The biggest military. That's who wins this game, you guys. That's why you guys are working for $2 for 12 hours. And we have minimum wage laws that we make 10 times more than you make in a day per hour by law. Does it suck to be you? Yes. Does it suck to be you? Absolutely. But in my worldview, you signed up for that hard mode in the pre-existence. I signed up to be I'm a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Omega man. But hey, I love life. Just you're born in India, you're trapped in a reincarnation loop, you can't get out of it. But I got the LDS Church. We're going to purify, we're going to save the world. Pete Butt, Igae. He's a good looking dude. I'll give him that. Nice haircut. Okay. Nice tie, nice. He's got that. But he's a smooth talker, and everyone knows that he's full of crap. This guy's a D-. You can tell he's full of crap. Bernie is legit. I'd say him and Kamala are just lie fests. And people, anyways.
Technology for the perfection of dictatorship. But their fundamental economic model isn't going to change because of some tariffs. I live in the industrial Midwest.
What an idiot. 1% can change the markets. Like, well, a 1% tariff can change. It's like, dude, what an idiot. Some tariffs aren't going to change anything. The American people don't get it, and I understand, but you're an idiot.
Of a factory.
Trump's 10%, 15% tariffs. You know what those are? Those are 3-week tariffs. Those are bluffs. Those are, I'm strong, you're weak. I'm going to put 25% on tariff on China for this tariff. It goes away after 3 weeks, and then he just says, "How is that?" That's what Trump does. How is that? And you know what? He's right. So these guys would never think to even make a 25% tariff for a couple weeks. This guy doesn't even know what a tariff is. He doesn't even know what a tariff does.
Where I live. And manufacturers, and especially soy farmers, are hurting. Tariffs are taxes. And Americans are going to pay on average $800 more a year because of these tariffs. Meanwhile, China is investing so that they could soon be able to run circles around us in artificial intelligence.
Oh my gosh.
And this
China's going to run circles around us. With what? With them and what army? It's the freaking yellow men. Oh no, China.
On the
gosh, dude, we have artificial intelligence too.
Relationship is if all that mattered was the export balance on dishwashers. We got a much bigger issue.
We got the U.S. Marines, we got the Air Force, we got the
on
Navy
our
SEALs.
But at a moment,
we could give them the Air Force and destroy them. We could give them our Air Force and then destroy them. If they hit the glitch trick and then the AI takes over, I'd fear the AI more than China. If AI gets out of the bag and they reach singularity.
Model is being held up as an alternative
and
to.
And by the way, where are you guys' jokes? Let's hear some jokes, you guys.
Because ours looks so chaotic compared to their
self-parody
right now because of our internal divisions. The biggest thing we've got to do.
I was praying to the guy the other day, Lance Voorhees, and in the prayer, I was talking about how Trump does self-parody, and when he went like that, he disagreed.
Invest in our own.
But from when Norm Macdonald and I watch it, it's like, this guy's got to be kidding. Like, are you serious, Trump?
Competitive.
But that's the joke. He is serious. That's what's so funny about it. So that's the self-parody, is he's being serious. Which is funny. And actually, he was talking about like a bathing suit. He's like, I could wear this. It was like a gay bathing suit. He's like, I could wear this. I'm serious. And his daughter, Ivanka, had this look like, Dad. Like, no, you couldn't. Like, I don't think you could, actually. A gay bathing suit on the beach at 70 years old. He was on The Apprentice. I was watching it. And her face was like, what? Like, that is a fashion disaster. But he's like, I'm serious. I can do it because it's me. And he's so serious that it's funny. And it's probably true because it's funny. And nobody cares what anyone's wearing at the beach anyway. But anyways.
Infrastructure, education, we were never going to be able to compete. And if we
the
really
joke
want
it's not a joke, which is funny to me and Norm.
Be an alternative, a democratic alternative.
But these guys need to start making jokes.
Have to demonstrate
they're just jokes.
That we care about democratic values at
These
home.
are bad jokes. These are the bad ones.
And around the world.
We've got a good debate so far. We're going to take a quick break here.
Everyone love that answer. But
when we come back,
no.
The questioning continues with our colleagues. Chuck Todd, Rachel Maddow will be here. Much more with our candidates straight ahead.
Congratulations, the demon. What a party name, the Demonic Crazy Rats. I mean, when you pick a team name, maybe something better than that.
How long?
The Demonic Demon Rats.
Don't
Really?
worry. I said how long? I'll be 2 minutes. I need to go now.
His team name. The Demonic Rats. Really? I would do neutral because I think that I didn't watch it, so I just put neutral. Neutral is underplayed. And a lot of people are just saying, well, they're all full of crap. I'll just vote for the most beautiful guy or the front runner because I don't like their Republican Party. Yeah. But if there was anyone made a joke, they might have got more votes.
Welcome back to the Democratic presidential debate from the Arts Center in Miami.
As we continue the questioning, we want to bring in more
So easy.
members of our team.
So let's turn it over to Chuck Todd and Rachel Maddow.
Well,
the easiest presidential run ever. Just
Rachel.
The question I have, what keeps me up at night, do I want to take both terms back to back, or do I want to wait?
I had a dream that we've done this before.
No.
I had a dream we did this before.
No, this is
didn't
definitely
happen.
the first time.
Definitely first time. Thank you, Lester Smith and Jose.
Now, why can't Mad Cow run for president? This girl, why can't she run? She's maximally satisfied. She's already making more than $400K. That's one of the reasons.
Quickly recap.
She just doesn't want to do that role.
One more time. 20 candidates qualified for this first debate.
She
We've
would be better
heard
than some of those Democrats up there, though.
from 10 of them from last night. We're hearing from 10 more tonight.
I mean, she's wrong about everything she says, but I'm just saying the rhetoric. comes
Down
up.
for each night was selected at random. Candidates will have
She
60
was saying
seconds to
how,
answer
like,
questions.
women
30
don't
seconds
behave as much as men. It was pretty hilarious.
follow-ups if necessary.
Because of this large field of candidates, not every person will be able to comment on everything, but the less audience reaction
I'm
there
trying
is, the
to
more
answer
time they
these
will all
before.
get. Over the course of the next hour, we will hear from all of these candidates, but we are going to begin this hour with Mayor Buttigieg. In the last 5 years, civil rights activists in our country have led a national debate over race and the criminal justice system. Your community of South Bend, Indiana, has recently been in uproar over an officer-involved shooting. The police force in South Bend is now 6% black in a city that is 26% black. Why has that not improved over your 2 terms as mayor?
Because I could.
There's one race, folks. Human. Unless you got a Martian in your pocket. Why would you refer to Olivia Williams as a black woman? That's not a black woman, that's Olivia Williams. She just happens to look cool. Like, what are you guys talking about? We were brainwashed as 3rd, 4th, 5th graders as this is a black one guy and this is a white guy. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Well, do you know how their skin's kind of black? It's like, I guess. And then I said, I wonder if Michael Jordan's black. And I looked him up and he was really black. And then now I was like, okay, so that's a black person. And then I was trying to like learn these colors. Like, oh, so we're going to look at people as colors now? It's so stupid. Just rip into racism itself. Just how, and colors and how racism, the origin source, teaching our kids that people, like as if that has anything to do with anything. It's so ridiculous. Really.
Get it done. My community is in anguish right now because of an officer-involved shooting. A black man, Eric Logan, killed by a white officer. And I'm not allowed to take sides until the investigation comes back. The officer said he was attacked with a knife, but he didn't have his body camera on. It's a mess, and we're hurting. And I could walk you through all of the things that we have done as a community. All of the steps that we took from bias training.
What is this? You guys are so sick in the head. And this guy is a snake. This guy's an F. You can see right through this guy. This is some sick.
Save the life.
This guy's got 12 million in the bank.
Of Eric Logan.
This is some sick.
And when I look into his mother's eyes, I have to face the fact that
power junkie.
Nothing that I say will bring him back.
Sick in the head.
This is an issue that is facing our community and so many communities around the country. And until we move policing out from the shadow of systemic racism, whatever this particular incident teaches us, we will be left with the bigger problem of the fact that there's a wall of mistrust put up one racist act at a time, not just from what's happened in the past, but from what's happening around the country. And
treating racism like
present, it threatens the well-being of every
Charlie Kirk was projecting his innocence on everyone else. That's going too far
community.
too.
And I am determined
He's like, and then he was kind of a reverse racist, which is like really weird.
When a white
Charlie Kirk was wrong about racism too. Like, I'm just saying, how about this? Call it culturalism, because that's what it is.
Driving a
It's
vehicle and a
culture,
black
it's not race.
person driving a vehicle.
There's one race and it's human.
When they see a police officer approaching, feels the exact same thing. A feeling not of fear, but of safety. I'm determined to bring that day about.
And it's such and we shouldn't be talking about this more than 30 seconds. And we're all gonna take a chance at this. I gotta skip ahead. This is nasty.
If I could ask one question, just because I think.
Oh my gosh! Someone shot another guy, and one of them had a white costume, and the other guy had a black costume. Who cares about your flesh? The whole beauty thing is a joke.
Give me 30 seconds.
I think that the question they're asking in South Bend, I think it sees across the country, is why has it taken so long? We had a shooting when I first became mayor 10 years.
I'm skipping ahead, you guys. I can't. I can't. I can't. Okay, there's a new question. I can't. I'm sorry.
I placed
I
my
can't do that racist nonsense.
hand into a pond of snakes.
And I know there are racists out there. Just find them, get them, tell them they're stupid. And Albert Einstein said, "There's 10 guys in the world smarter than me, but the dumbest people are way dumber than we are smart." The infinite depths of stupidity.
Bodies shifted beneath the water as they coiled.
Bring them together,
The
be part of
demons
the
are
stick-
silly, and the foolishness comes from demons.
So ultimately, if we're
Racism is ridiculous.
not able to do that, we will be doomed to failure. We have no way of doing this without bringing everyone together.
Thank you. Vice President Biden, on
Now, if you want to
the issue of how you do
leverage
this.
the joke of racism to bash a specific person of a specific color that you don't like because they're bad outside of their race, we could talk about that.
are arguing robustly among themselves about
We could
what's
talk
the
about a lot of stuff.
best way to tackle climate change. But if we're honest, many Republicans.
Climate change. If there was a 5% chance, I posted this on Facebook. If there was a 5% or 10% or 20% chance that the world was going to flood, it would affect the markets. The markets would adjust for the climate change. The markets haven't moved. They know that the bond market would go crazy.
Including the president,
They know that climate change is a bunch of nonsense.
are still not sure if they believe it is even a serious problem. So,
It isn't.
are there significant ways
And in my worldview, God runs the weather and the sunrises. There's sunspots and
you can cut carbon emissions
climate change.
if
My
you have to do it with no
goodness
support
me.
from Congress?
Let's skip ahead on this too. Well, I want to hear Yang.
This country. Vice President Biden, your first
And I can
issue.
still make fun of him too.
Mr. Vice President.
I think you're so underestimating what Barack Obama did. He's the first man to bring together the entire world, 196 nations, to commit to deal with climate change immediately.
Wicked.
So I don't buy that. But the first thing.
He's not half white. He's half black. Can-O-T.
I would do is make sure that we defeat Donald Trump. Period.
I respect Obama because he's half white. This stuff is so stupid. You guys are so stupid.
issue is President-
And not just these clowns on stage, but the clowns that are watching it, everyone that's hyping these guys up. So stupid.
That you were going to block and tackle.
We've got to fix our democracy before it's too late. Get that right. Climate, immigration, taxes, and every other issue gets better.
Let's see if we got a tongue jet here. Let's give us something. He doesn't believe in climate change. Let's take a look.
Mr. Yang.
Oh, come on, get us one. Oh!
I would pass a $1,000 freedom dividend for every American adult starting at age 18, which would speed us up on climate change because if you, I would pass a $1,000 freedom dividend for every American adult.
Here we go, yeah. The freedom dividend, this is their best idea. And it would be create winners and losers out of without working. It's just too much money. I just want to do 177 or 177 or even like $25. Because there are people who are homeless, they could use a couple packets of cigarettes and they don't have rent. And they're going to double their net worth for like a week. And no one's going to feel any hurt from it.
18.
But 1,000 is pretty. Talk about throwing around the toys.
Speed us up on climate change because if you get the food off of people's throats, they'll focus on climate change much more.
Governor Hickenlooper?
They'll vote for climate change much more clearly. Yeah, that's
I would do a collaborative approach to climate change, and I would pronounce it well before the election to make sure we don't re-elect the worst
they would
president
get something off their throat
in American history.
And Ms. Williamson?
My first call is to the Prime Minister of New Zealand, who said that her goal is to make New Zealand a place where it's the best place in the world for a child to grow up. And I will tell her girlfriend you were so on, because the United States of America
And then she has this scripted, and it's not even good. This is sick.
would be the best place.
These guys are sick of they're all in the flesh, and they're wicked.
world for a child
They're just dripping with evil.
to grow up.
You know,
We are going
thank
to
you.
have-
You guys were close with the short, at least it was shorter
No, they weren't.
responses.
Not at all.
All right. C minus.
C minus. Hey, he's using my system.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with
I give him a C plus. That was quick.
candidates right after this.
And I got it. All right. So the climate change. Hate to break it to you. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Climate change is a bunch of nonsense. It's just dumb. What's more dumb, racism or climate change?
Welcome back to the Democratic candidates debate in Miami.
So
We're going to continue the
dumb.
questioning now with Lester in the audience. We are? We are, in a second, are going to have a question from Lester in the audience, but that was just a fake out.
That was a joke attempt that didn't land, but I appreciate it. It was a fake out. Yeah, girls aren't meant to make jokes. They're meant to laugh at jokes that guys make. But I appreciate the effort. It's better than any of the... That's why I said she should be up there. She would win all the votes. She's genuine and she's a little cute and feisty and funny.
You have gun?
And she's a Fritz. And she's like, man, that didn't go over that well, but that's okay. I'll keep going.
Congressman Swalwell, among this field of candidates, you have a unique position on gun reform. You're proposing that the government should buy back every...
Look at him. Did you see his mouth? I'm going to lie again. He's like, I'm going to lie again.
assault weapon in America, and it should be mandatory. How do you envision that working, especially in states where gun rights are a strong flashpoint?
Keep your pistols, keep your rifles, keep your shotguns, but we can take the most dangerous weapons from the most dangerous people.
Oh, please. Keep your guns, but not your big guns. You're an idiot. Eric swallows really well. Eric swallows well. I wish your first name wasn't Eric, because that's my name. It means king. But he's a king that swallows well. He's like Lord Farquaad. He's a Farquaad. And he's from California. Oh my gosh. He's not a bad-looking dude. He just... everything he says is just toxic.
We have the NRA on the ropes because of the moms, because of the Brady, because of Giffords, because of March for Our Lives. But I'm the only
I
candidate.
wish he was a spirit-filled Christian who loves Christ, and he's not.
Stage calling for a ban.
He's a Democratic, wicked.
And buyback of every single assault weapon in America. I've seen the plans of the...
buy back every single assault weapon in America. What an idiot. I'm not saying we give every man, woman, and child a bazooka. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, I mean, maybe there's a state that could try it. No.
Other candidates here. They would all be 15
But seriously,
15 million assault weapons in our communities.
I like it when people have guns.
They wouldn't do a single thing to save a
little guns. Lots of guns. And bullets, too. Guns and bullets.
single life in Parkland. I'll approach this issue as a prosecutor. I'll approach it as the only person on the
Yeah, guys, I'm going to be the only Democrat on stage who's pro-gun. I'm pro-life and pro-gun, but I'm a Democrat. Vote for me because I'm funny and I'm cute.
stage who has voted and passed background checks. But all
I
So,
could see
as a
why people might want somebody other than me, but I can't pretend like I'm not pro-gun because I'm very pro-gun. It's the Second Amendment. I don't see how you guys missed that one. We need the guns. Do you remember what I was talking about earlier? How China bends not just one knee, but a lot of knees to us because we have all the guns. Do you remember how that works? You know, racism started because the white guys had the guns. It was a wicked past.
generation who
But racism needs to stay in its lane in these last days. It's a joke. Racism now is a joke.
children to school where we look at what they're wearing so we can remember it in case we have to identify them later. A generation who has seen
And then
thousands
he has this scripted. Really?
of black children killed in our streets, and a generation who goes to the theater and we actually look where the fire exits are. We don't have to live this way. We must be a country who loves our children.
Strongly dislike this guy.
More than we love our guns.
Senator Sanders,
And then he does a tongue judge. More than we love our guns.
a Vermont
He doesn't believe any of that stuff.
newspaper. Senator Sanders, a Vermont newspaper recently released portions of an
We got a
interview
genuine dude.
you
Old guy Bernie.
gave in 2013, in which you said, quote, "My own view on guns is everything being equal, states should make those decisions."
No.
How's your thinking?
I love it.
change
For a Democrat, I love that.
since then? Do you now think there's a federal role
Now,
to
that's a
play?
mischaracterization of my
It's
thinking.
a
Look,
quote of-
we have
I'm flip flopping. I don't like guns anymore because I don't want to let anyone beat me.
we have a gun crisis right now. 40,000 people a year are getting killed. In 1980.
Oh my gosh. Bernie, we have 399 million people, boy. It's like, like there's going to be some shooting around the Bronx. How many more? Did you know that the gun-free zones are more dangerous?
Rachel,
these guys are so stupid.
When it wasn't popular, I ran on a platform of banning
Iran. Sounds like a war zone.
assault weapons, and in fact lost that race for Congress. I have
This is ridiculous.
minus voting record from the NRA. And I believe that what we need is comprehensive gun legislation that, among other things, provides universal background. We end the gun show loophole. We end the straw man provision. And I believed in 1988, and I believe today.
Why would you
that
leave
assault
why would you leave
weapons,
15 million on the streets? Why would you
assault
leave-
weapons are
Senator,
weapons
you leave
from
15
the
million on the streets,
military,
though.
and that they should not be on the streets of America.
Kennedy.
Your plan leaves them on the streets. You leave 15 million on the
We
streets.
banned the sale and
Will you
and
buy 'em back?
distribution, and that's what I believe for many years.
You guys are so stupid. In heaven, everyone is well behaved. There's more guns in heaven than there are here. You listen to me. This is a demonic, wicked. Hitler took the guns. Pol Pot took the guns.
Will you buy them back?
The Democrats are going to take the
People
guns.
want to buy.
And then some big bad wolf's going to come in.
If the government wants
Let the citizens have the guns. It's to protect us from ourselves.
to do that,
And yes, put a gun in the safe of every 5th grade teacher in every school too. I'm
People
so pro-gun. I'm gun-ho about firearms.
It's going to be the government. Will you buy them back?
And these guys aren't, and it breaks my heart. And it's like, the fact that I have to be a Democrat who's pro-life and pro-gun in the last days. Well, don't you want to, listen, I'm not here. Listen, you guys are better than the Republicans in some way, shape, or form, and I'm better than you guys in those ways. I want to help the poor without pissing off the rich so much that they get a bunch of tax loopholes and get out of it anyway. If we tax them 99.6% on everything after $50 million in a year, they're going to stop working, parlay, blast off their workers. They're going to pay a fine to pay their workers next year's money early, and they're never going to pay it. Just let me do me. I got this. Just calm down. Don't piss off the rich, but help the poor. But this whole no gun thing, you guys remind me how stupid. You guys haven't studied history. You don't know what you're doing. Wicked. Stupid.
Senator Harris, we're going to give you 30 seconds.
Thank you. I think your idea is a great one, Congressman Swalwell, and I will say that there are a lot of great ideas.
I would say I can't wait for the 2028. I'm about to run in 2028. I'll be 36. These guys who want to get wrecked now, this is some wicked stuff. I gotta change I gotta change it over to Democratic Party. Listen, I'll wait till 2032, but these guys are wicked. This girl thinks she's married. This girl's, oh yeah, she's married. Oh my gosh.
The problem is Congress has not had the courage to act, which
she's married, all right.
is why when elected President of the United States, I will give the United States Congress 100 days to pull their act together, bring all these good ideas together, and put a bill on my desk for signature. And if they do not, I will take executive action, and I will put in place
She'll take executive action.
the most comprehensive background check policy we've had. I will require the ATF to take...
Oh my gosh, she's like, you think they're wicked. I'll be the wicked witch of the East. I'll be the wicked witch of the West. I'm trying to win the women vote now. The women wicked vote now. And Yang's like, I think if we give $100,000 a month, there'll be no street fights.
Gun dealers
and I don't have a tie.
Who violate
what a dumbass.
the law, and I will ban by executive
don't want
order
to swear this video.
the importation of assault weapons. Because I'm going to tell you, as a prosecutor, I have seen
She's going to tell us, you guys.
more autopsy.
She's like, I don't believe a single thing I'm saying. I'm the third most genuine person up here, and I'm not genuine at all.
And I care to tell you,
This is wicked.
I have hugged more mothers who are the mothers of homicide victims, and I have attended more police officer funerals. It is enough.
We have 399 million people. Yes, there's going to be homicide victims somewhere at some point. You guys are so stupid.
Enough. There have been plenty of good ideas from members of the United States Congress. There's been no action. As president, I will take
Does anyone
action.
want to play chess or Rubik's Cube or Tetris or Guitar Hero? Or let's see who's the smartest, most intelligent one up here.
Mayor Buttigieg.
No, let's not do that. Let's just have a debate as if we're all equal.
Bring you in on this.
You guys are so stupid.
A lot of discussion about assault rifles that are often
You guys want to take an IQ test?
short-handed as military-style weapons. You are the only person on this stage tonight with military experience as a veteran of the Afghanistan war. Will military families, does that inform your thinking on this view? Do you believe that military families or America's veterans will, at large, have a different take on this than the other Americans who we've been talking about and who Congressman Swalwell is appealing to with his buyback program?
Yeah, of course, because we trained on some of these kinds of weapons. Look, every part of my life experience informs this. Being the mayor of a city where the worst part of the job is dealing with violence, we lose as many as were lost at Parkland every 2 or 3 years in my city alone. And this is tearing communities apart. If more guns made us safer, we'd be the safest country on earth. It doesn't work.
I really enjoy using guns. I just don't want you guys using it. This guy is so wicked. You guys are wicked.
Common sense measures, like universal background checks, can't.
Common sense measures. Yeah, you guys are con men, all right. You guys are wicked.
To get delivered by Washington, even when most
gets delivered, unlike all the babies.
Republican.
Because we're pro-choice. You guys are wicked. You guys are wicked.
Most Americans agree it's the right thing to do. And as somebody who trained on weapons of war, I can tell you that there are weapons that have absolutely no place in American cities or neighborhoods in peacetime, ever.
I don't care if we're talking about the weapons from Men in Black. Put the weapons in every house that can afford it. But we need more guns, not less.
Vice President Biden, 30 seconds.
Everything's like, I want to give everyone $1,000 a month so they could not buy guns.
Around 30 seconds.
Okay. I'm the only person that's beaten the NRA nationally. I'm the guy that got the...
Oh my gosh. I can see why my friends and family hate this guy. Oh my gosh. I'm the only one who beat the NRA. Well, how about super special hate worthy for you? You are hate worthy.
Brady Bill.
I thought NRA was to maintain hunting.
That's the background checks. Number one.
I liked it back in the day.
Number two, we increased that background check during the Obama-Biden administration. I'm also the only guy that got assault weapons banned, and the number of clips in a gun banned. And so, folks, look, and I would buy back those weapons.
We're going to ban bullets.
Already started talking about that.
And we're going to ban machines.
To get it done. I think it can be done.
And I'm going to ban Call of Duty.
It should be demanded that we do it, and that's a good expenditure of money. And lastly, we should have smart
games are going to get banned.
No gun should be able to be sold unless your biometric measure could pull that trigger. It's within our right to do that. We can do that. Our enemy is the gun manufacturers, not the NRA.
Wicked.
Gun manufacturers.
But the NRA is taking orders from the gun manufacturers.
Lester Holt has our next question. Lester, take it away.
All right, Chuck, this is a question from our viewers. We put some suggestions that ask maybe they could share some. Here's one that came from Kathleen from Canby, Oregon, who writes, many fear the current administration has inflicted irrevocable harm on our governing institutions and norms, and in the process, on our reputation abroad. The question is, what do you see as important early steps in reversing the damage done? And we'll put this one to Senator Bennett.
Thank you very much. What an excellent question. First of all, we have to restore our democracy at home. The rest of the world is looking for us for leadership. We have a president who doesn't believe in the rule of law. He doesn't believe in freedom of the press. He doesn't believe in independent judiciary. He believes in the corruption that he's brought to Washington, D.C., and that is what we have to change, and that's why everybody is up here tonight, and I appreciate the fact that they're up here for that reason. Second, we've got to restore the relationships that he's destroyed with our allies. Not just in Europe. He flew to the G20 last night and attacked Japan, Germany, and a third ally of ours without saying anything about North Korea or Russia. And when you've got a situation where you have a president who says something happened in the Straits of Hormuz and the whole world doesn't know whether to believe it or not, that is a huge problem when it comes to the national security of the United States of America.
Thank you, Senator. That's a perfect time for me to do another one of these down the line. And this is what this question is, which is, you got to have to read
we don't know whether to believe politics. What an idiot.
To reset a relationship between America and another
He's a little slow.
country or entity if you become president because of
We didn't know if it was fake news or not.
perhaps because of some
That's why everyone's like, what?
relationship that you just mentioned about President Trump. What is
Okay,
the
let me
first
try to
between
answer.
America
What was this
and
question?
Iran? And this is what this question is, which is
Let me try to answer this, okay? Let's see. What do you got for me?
you're likely going to have to reset a relationship between America and another country or entity if you become president because of some relationship that you just mentioned about President Trump. What is the first relationship you like to reset as president? I'll go down the line and I'll start with Ms. Williamson.
Well,
We don't need to reset anything. We have all the guns. We have all the money. What are you talking
one
about?
of my first phone calls would be to call the European leaders and say, we're back. Because I totally understand how important it is that the United States be part of the Western Alliance.
I'm trying to get one or two words here. I hear you, Governor.
That was a fat.
You know, I talk about constant engagement, and I think the first country
She's like, I had something planned and it wasn't very good.
I would go to, but I understand they've been cheating and stealing intellectual property, would be China. We're going to deal with public health pandemics, and we're going to deal with.
And it starts by modeling American values at home.
Okay, Mr. Vice President.
Pissed off worse between now and then. What we know is that our relationship with the entire world needs to change. We have no idea.
And a couple more things before we go to another break, Mr. Yang.
China, we need to.
I understand they've been cheating and stealing intellectual property, would be China, because if we're going to deal with public health pandemics, and we're going to deal with all the challenges of the globe, we've got to have relationships with everyone.
Mr. Yang, we're trying to squeeze in a couple more things before we go to another break, Mr. Yang.
China, we need to cooperate with them on climate change, AI, and other issues. North Korea.
Thanks for the quickness. Mayor Buttigieg.
We have no idea which of our most important allies he will have pissed off worse between now and then. What we know is that our relationship with the entire world needs to change. And it starts by modeling American values.
I don't know why that was funny, but
Mr.
someone laughed and it looks like a joke. Oh, he said pissed off? Was that what it was?
I'm trying to be quick.
That was the most glorious D- joke. Good job, dude. Whatever
fall
that was.
apart if he's elected 4 more
Yeah.
years. This
Hey, I liked it.
consequential line.
We don't know who we're gonna piss off.
Okay.
Did he know he was making a joke there?
Senator Sanders.
You
It's
guys
not
need more jokes, more.
one country. I think it is rebuilding trust in the United Nations and understand that we can solve conflicts without war, but with diplomacy.
Senator Harris.
All the members of the NATO alliance.
I kind of like the no war thing. That's
President Trump is hell-bent on starting a war with Iran. My first act will be to engage Iran to stabilize the Middle East and make sure we do not start an unwanted, never-ending war.
Senator Bennett, quickly.
Our European allies and every Latin American country that's willing to have a conversation about how to deal with the refugee crisis.
And Congressman Swalwell.
My first act in foreign policy, we're breaking up with Russia and making up with NATO.
Thank you all. Thank you all. We have one
That's a good plan.
last question for Vice President Biden tonight. You have made your decades of experience in foreign policy a pillar of your campaign. But when the time came to say yes or no on one of the most consequential foreign policy decisions of the last century, you voted for the Iraq War. You have since said you regret that vote. But why should voters trust your judgment when it comes to making a decision about taking the country to war the next time?
Because once Bush abused that power, what happened was we got elected after that. I made sure the president turned to me and said, Joe, get our combat troops out of Iraq. I was responsible for getting 150,000 combat troops out of Iraq, and my son was one of them. I also think we should not have combat troops in Afghanistan. It's long overdue. It should end. And thirdly, I believe that you're not going to find anybody who has pulled together more of alliances to deal with what is the real stateless threat out there. We cannot go it alone in terms of dealing with terrorism. So I'd eliminate the act that allowed us to go into war and not the AUMF, and make sure that it can only be used for what its intent was, and that is to go after terrorists, but never do it alone. That's why we have to repair our alliances. We put together 65 countries to make sure we dealt with ISIS in Iraq and other places. That's what I would do. That's what I've done, and I know how to do it.
Senator Sanders, 30
One of the differences that Joe and I have in our record is Joe voted for that war. I helped lead the opposition to that war, which is a total disaster. Second of all, I helped lead the effort for the first time to utilize the War Powers Act to get the United States out of the Saudi-led intervention in Yemen, which is
like war
most horrific humanitarian
I like
disaster.
having a lot of guns and
third-
stuff, but can you guys stop? Can we like not do that war stuff that much?
Do everything I can to prevent a
I don't just. What
war
are we
with Iran
declaring? Go in there.
to be
Like what? We want more oil. We're dripping
worse
with riches.
than disastrous war.
What do you want? Why are we going to war? Oh, is it? Did someone break an international war law? Okay, we got to go clean that up.
Sanders, thank you.
All right, guys.
You know, America, we had this little meeting, and it's like, if you guys torture your inmates, we will come over there and kill you. And they're okay. They said, that's fine, we won't. Yeah. And you better let them write with pen and paper and write back to the family. Okay, we couldn't do that. We'd feel so sad. And they're like, yeah, we're not letting them do that. And I was like, no, you are letting them do that. They're like, what? Like, yeah, if you don't let them write pen and paper and write back to their family, we will come and kill you. And they're like, you're kidding. And they said, yeah, and if money is an issue, we'll give you the pen and paper too. And I said, well, that's a deal. If you're going to give us the free paper and pen, yeah, we will. And we sent him all the papers and pens. So now we got prisoners in other countries writing back to their family. And if they don't, we will kill you. It's amazing. America's so great.
Good news is you get more time to talk, but I have to sneak in one more break. We'll be right back with more debate.
There's 45 seconds each. We begin with Congressman Swalwell.
We are
back from Miami.
We need to say anything?
Each candidate.
This is where I say for 45 seconds, I got a dynamic cabinet. I'm just a
I have a final chance
good-looking guy.
to make their case to the voters. 45 seconds each. We begin with Congressman Swalwell.
We can't be a forward-looking party if we look to the past for our leadership. I'm a congressman, but also a father of a 2-year-old and an infant. When I'm not changing diapers, I'm changing Washington. Most of the time, the diapers smell better. I went to Congress at 31, and I found a Washington that doesn't work for people like you and me. It's made of the rich and the disconnected. I was the first in my family to go to college and have student loans.
Yeah, I wouldn't be memorizing it. I'd be freestyling. Whatever comes to my head. Let me just speak to the American people for 45 seconds. And whatever comes to my head is what you guys are going to get. Because this scripted stuff, you can tell it's scripted. Listen, everyone on stage is an idiot, except for me. It should already be over with that. Okay? But let's just say there is one other person who's smart and, oh, this guy has a nice policy, this guy's more beautiful than me, or something insane. Or let's just say you're just pro-choice and you just don't think you can get over that because I'm 90, whatever it is. I'm so pro-life that you can't take it and you got to go with somebody else. Listen, I have a dynamic cabinet. I got 15 people that are righteous that start with me. Then you vote in new people every month, and we'll change Washington through your votes. All these other people, you have a locked, static cabinet. It's not even close. Vote for me. I'm the best out of the people here today. And if you have to vote for someone else, and maybe I'll give a shout out to whoever I think is the best on stage that day. At least and then I'll throw someone a bone, and then I'll throw the actual front runner under the bus. Something like that. And then I'll make fun of everyone. And then I'll say, who do you trust? The guy with the high school degree who plays video games, has nothing to win, who's donating all of his $400K, that doesn't accept bribes, or a bunch of politicians that have ruined this country this last 30, 40, 50 years. And they say, okay, that's enough. Or my mic gets cut off or something. Like what I just did, I didn't plan any of that stuff. It's just, it sounds so cheesy. This guy, oh, I'm going to make up this 45 seconds. You guys are all fleshly, you're in the flesh. You don't know God. You don't have a prayer life. I'd rather have Ted Cruz over you guys. Any of you. I'd rather have, I'm trying to think of a bad Republican. That fat guy. I don't know. It's just, you guys are really bad.
Debt. And so I have led the effort to elect the next generation of members of Congress, and we have a moment to seize. This is a can-do generation. This is the generation that will end climate chaos. This is the generation that will solve student loan debt. And this is the generation that will say enough is enough and end gun violence. This generation demands bold solutions. That's why I'm running for president.
Congressman, thank you.
Ms. Williamson, 45 seconds for your
I'm sorry we haven't talked more tonight about how we're going to beat Donald Trump. I have an idea about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not going to be beaten just by insider politics talk. He's not going to be beaten just by somebody who has plans. He's going to be beaten by somebody who has an idea what this man has done. This man has reached into the psyche of being passed that out.
Jeez.
Thank you.
Senator Bennett.
Thank you. Thank you. My mom and her parents came to the United States to rebuild their shadow. Only for one generation, two tough races in college, Trump, and it's what our kids do.
I can't take the cheese. To make the first state,
So
the
much
toughest method,
cheese.
because I'm the one person, the worst president.
Higher.
We've marked want to repeal.
I want to get to Andrew
I have
Yang
the most comprehensive time
because
to
I
make-
like his Asian.
Mr. Yang, you have 45 seconds for your closing.
First, I want to thank everyone who put me on the stage tonight. I am proof that our democracy still works. Democrats and Americans around the country have one question for their nominee.
Former tech executive, exactly. He's not a politician, really.
And that is, who can beat Donald Trump in 2020? That is the right question. And the right
No, just plug your $1,000 Yang gang
candidate to
thing.
beat Donald Trump will be solving the problems that got Donald Trump elected, and will have a vision of a trickle-up economy that is already drawing thousands
Okay,
of disaffected Trump voters,
trickle-up economy.
conservatives, independents, and libertarians, as well as Democrats and progressives. I am that candidate. I can build a much broader coalition to beat Donald Trump. It is not left, it is not right, it is forward, and that is where I'll take
That was my
the
favorite.
country in 2020.
Might have been my favorite part. It was scripted, but it was like legit. It wasn't cheese at all.
Thank you.
It was like, and that was the one thing that he believed. So he's gonna get second place to Bernie. He actually believes what he's saying, and Yang kind of believes what he's saying too. Everyone
I
else
just
is
wanna
the silver fox. Like,
leave you with a couple of things.
Slick
One-
witches and warlocks and wicked.
We need a nominee who has the ability to prosecute the case against 4 more years.
I'm done with any of these else. What else we got here?
We'd be the safest country on earth. It doesn't work that
Oh,
way.
it's just the highlights. Do you guys want? We're gonna flip whether or not we end in a prayer or we just end this video. I'll pray on video if it's. Let's do 81 came into my mind. 81 and higher. We'll pray on video here at the end. And there's gonna be a little bit of drip. And if it's 79 and below, I'm done with this video. Dear Lord, please bless this flip, Jesus' name, amen. Proverbs 16:33, Jesus' name, amen. Please bless this flip, Jesus' name, amen.